going to show you a few different ways that you can thread. This is the way that works best for me. This is the technique that I use every single day. So you're basically going to unravel your thread. I unravel about 6 to 7 times depending on the size of your hands. I have pretty small hands. So about 6 times I unravel my thread. I break it at the base, leave a little tab because you don't want to lose your tab in your thread. Then you have to cut a piece. You're going to have 2 different sizes. Just try it. If you got to cut it with a scissor, cut it with a scissor as opposed to ripping it. I am going to grab the loose ends of the string and I'm going to tie a knot, basically kind of starting a cat's cradle, if you remember that game when we were kids. And it should be what you have. So once you make that knot, you want to either double or triple knot it. Sometimes if you knot once, your string will break. If it breaks in the middle of your service, that is okay. Usually I will set up maybe 2 or 3 of these so that if it breaks, I don't have to spend the time to create a new one. And this is what it should look like. I like to hold the knot in one hand while spinning the other hand about 6 times. This is what's going to create the loop for you to grab the hairs. So I'm just here showing you different ways that you can hold it. You can put your whole hand in there. You can put just a few fingers in there, including your ring fingers. You can do 3 fingers. So it really depends on what you're comfortable with, if this is the style that you choose to use for threading. So this is from a different perspective of me doing the exact same actions. I'm going to unravel my thread 6 to 8 times. I'm going to grab both ends, loose ends of the thread, tie them into a knot 2 to 3 times. Sometimes, depending on how long the extra piece of thread is, I'll trim it just a little bit so it's not in the way. I do like to hold the knot in my right hand and make sure it's secure, because if your knot winds up being in between where you twist, it is going to get caught. You're not going to rip the hairs out and you are going to hurt your client. So make sure to hold the knot in one hand while you twist with the other hand about 5-6 times. Sometimes, depending more or less, depending on the client's thickness of the hair, you might need to twist your thread a few more times, just because thicker hairs have more resistance when they're being pulled out versus thinner hairs. So think of Mrs. Pac-Man. So here you're going to open, slide under the hair, and then go in with the opposite hand. So when you're working on the left brow, this is going to be how you are going to open your thread. When you're working on the right brow, you're going to open your string so that quote unquote Mrs. Pac-Man is going to eat the hair. So you want to make sure the base of your hair is within the V of the string before you open the opposite hand. And I didn't have a physical client with me, but I'm going to show you on this photo of my client. Again, we're going to wrap the string around a few times, holding the knot in the other hand. Make sure we're comfortable with how many fingers we're using. I work behind my client. Some people work in front of their client while their client is sitting up. I like to have my client laying down and work behind them. So this is how you're going to hold this thread. So as you can see, where my right hand is placed, I open the string to then slide it under the hair. Once I'm in place, I open my left hand to start the mechanism of the twisting of the string in order to pull the hair out. You want to do this in a swift motion, as quickly and swiftly as you can, so that way you're pulling all of the hair at once and you don't stop while you're in the middle. You see how my knot just got caught? That is why I want you to hold on to that knot so that it doesn't get in the way of your work. So with the unibrow, you're going to want to either go up, down, you can go left, right, always making sure that you're not in the way of the other hairs, because it is possible for you to pull out a brow hair on the opposite side of the face. It's also possible, depending on how quickly you're working, for you to pull on a client's eyelash extensions. I've done it before. Luckily, the extension was going to fall out, so it didn't hurt my client. But this is the way that you want to position yourself if you're working behind your client for threading. And this is the two-handed technique. So this is the ancient technique of threading, where you put the string in your mouth, you hold it, have a good grip with the string in your teeth, and you basically loop it the same way you would loop for the neck technique that I showed you in the previous video. The only difference with this technique literally is that the string is going to be in your mouth. So if you don't have a good bite, if you have an underbite, an overbite, if your teeth don't line up the right way, the string is going to slide right in between your teeth, slip out of your mouth, and hit your client in the face. And given pandemic situations, I don't think anybody, even before that, I wouldn't want a wet piece of string hitting me in the face. I don't think you want to hit your client in the face with a wet piece of string. So use this if you can stably hold a piece of string in your mouth. So it is going to be the same looping method as the neck technique, as I said. And you're just going to have to loop your string one way for the left brow, loop your string the other way for the right brow. And it's going to be the same neck movement and the same reset for your string. And again, you do want to make sure that you have a good grip on your string before you start pulling and tugging over your client's face. So again, we have our fake client, and it is going to be the same process of resetting your string, setting your string up, and pulling on the hair as the neck technique was. Again, the sole difference is that the string is in your mouth. You are using the same neck muscles, and everything else will be exactly the same. So if this is a technique that you prefer, by all means, use it and make sure you practice with anything that you have in this training or these threading techniques. Make sure you practice. You can practice on your leg hair. You can practice on your boyfriend, girlfriend, sister, fiance, mom, dad. If you are comfortable doing it on the brows, you can start doing brows. Just make sure you practice, because practice is going to be what gets you confident enough to do it on paying clients. If you're not confident in your work or your technique or what you're doing, your clients will feel that you are uncomfortable. Remember, energy is so easily transferred. Your clients are going to feel that you might not know what you're doing. So don't fake it till you make it. Practice until you know exactly what you're doing. So this is another threading technique that you can use as well. You can use this with your client laying down or sitting up. But this technique, though, you do need double or triple the amount of string that you were using with the double hand technique. So with this technique, I try to get 2 of my arm's length of string, and you're going to tie part of that string loosely around your neck. Do a double knot, triple knot, same way we did with the double-handed technique. So this technique is more similar to the technique that we've seen all around, where the technician puts the string in her mouth and uses her neck muscles to pull the hairs out. So it is essentially the same, but considering we went through a pandemic and nobody really wants a wet piece of string to slap them in the face, we tie the string around our neck as opposed to putting it in our mouth. So you're going to have to flip your string depending on the brow that you're using, and have a tight but firm grip on your string as well. So this technique is going to be a little bit slower of motion, just because you have to reset your string and pull. As you practice, it will get faster and faster. I typically don't use this technique at all. I use a double-handed technique. So actually, I am teaching myself as I am teaching you how to use this technique. And I have not tried it on a client simply because I do other services that involve my neck muscles, and I don't want to thread all day using the same neck muscles, so I use my hands instead. The other thing I noticed with this technique, since you are only using one hand, you do need to flip the string and your loop depending on the brow that you're working on. So that is a little bit more of a learning curve as well. And here we have our fake client, and I'm going to tie the string around my neck and basically show you how to position your hand and pull the string at the same time, how to reset the string. I do usually start with my left, or the client's left brow. So this is how you want to pull the string. It's actually pretty simple. The reset process is what I don't like, to have to continuously bring my neck up and down in order to reset, but it's really easy. And if you have a strong neck, you're going to be able to pull those thick hairs out really quickly. And this is basically it. It's the same basic technique as the two-handed technique, but you do have to, as you can see, doing the other brow and the unibrow, I have to kind of figure it out a little bit differently, just because I need to know how to loop and where Miss Pac-Man is supposed to be so she can rip the hairs out.